Hey guys, happy Monday. I wanted to pop on, make this video because I've had a lot of questions. People reach out and ask me all sorts of things about myself. And I thought this would be a good opportunity for people to get to know me a little bit better. Um, because I don't share a whole lot of myself online. Like you guys see only a very small portion of me as a human being because let's face it, it's social media. And I figured this would be a good way to, one, change things up a bit on my channel because I am trying to do some different things. I'm also trying to engage more with the people that enjoy my channel, that have followed me for a really long time, or even if you're new, hello and welcome. I really am trying to make an effort so that people feel a little bit more connected to me. And I think by sharing a little bit more about me, people may understand how me as a person relates to how I collect dolls, because I think I am not of the average kind of collector. I have different views on things. I have different feelings on things. And I'm not to say that anybody out there doesn't share the same feelings that I do or views on the hobby, but there are certain, quirky things about me that may contribute to the way that I feel about certain things in the hobby, if that makes sense. So I thought, what a fun way to get to know one another. People like to do tags. I'm not going to do this as a tag necessarily. I encourage people that want to share a little bit more about themselves and their background online. Great. If you don't want to, then I totally understand that as well. It's a tricky, slippery slope online, and I think that's part of why I've been very hesitant or reserved when I share my personal life. I do share things here and there in my videos. However, I have gotten a lot of pushback and people that have been really not so nice. And the comments don't bother me, but I also don't want to put out content that people don't want. However, that being said, I've gotten a lot of, people that reach out and want to get to know me better. And I don't have the time to necessarily, have personal one-on-one conversations with folks, but I want people to feel like I care, and that I'm not, trying to hide who I am necessarily, but I'm going to give you a little bit of background. So just a little bit about me as a person. I am 48 years old. I will be 49 next April, so I'm 48 and a half, I guess. And I am a divorced mom of two. I have two grown daughters, 22 and 24 years old. And I have a long-term partner that I have been with since 2006, but we are not married. However, we act married. We live, we share a household and all of that, let's see, I used to have 3 Cocker Spaniel dogs. I now have 2 because I lost one of my dogs this summer. And a little bit about my background. As a young teenager, through all of my adolescence, I actually rode and showed horses. So horses are a huge background from the time I was, I think 12. I was involved with horses, I was not literally from 12 until right on into my adult life. I had horses, I trained horses, I worked with people to train horses, and then I also showed those horses. So I did under saddle at first, and then I moved up to wanting to do some jumping. So I did that, but as I was getting a little bit older, that takes its toll when you fall off. And then I moved into dressage, and that was kind of where I settled in, and that was kind of the thing that I really enjoyed. When I went through my divorce, I had to give up my horses. And so that was a sad part of being an adult, making an adult decision, and, the sacrifices we make, to take care of our families, and I started collecting, I want to say in 97, And the first couple of dolls were like 97, 98, 99. But I've collected dolls my whole life. That I have shared before. Like I've collected some sort of doll from the time I was a small child as far back as I can remember. And I've always loved baby dolls mostly, you know. So that's kind of a little bit about me. I have 2 older brothers. I am the youngest of 3, so I was the baby of the family. However, my brothers were very hard on me. To give you a little bit of hindsight into me and who I am as a human, I have had, you know, kind of a tough childhood because I had 2 older brothers. Sometimes, you know, older brothers can be really cruel and mean. I also struggled with a bit of a weight issue when I was younger, which also contributes to why I work so hard to maintain my health and my, you know, working out and being physical, because I never want to go back to that. But I have struggled with having low self-esteem for probably my whole life. And that has a lot to do with, you know, as, you know, a preteen being overweight and then having brothers, mean older brothers. I want to say the middle brother was the roughest on me. We really just, you know, butt heads on a lot of things. However, I have a great relationship with my brothers now. It's just, it kind of set the tone for me and how I felt about myself. And it's something I've struggled with my whole life. And I get a lot of people that are like, why do you show all this stuff online? And why do you want to show people like that you're working out and things like that? Well, for me, a big part of that is because I did struggle with my weight and going through 2 pregnancies where I gained quite a bit of weight, and it was a struggle for me. It was hard work for me to lose that weight. It's never come easy like it does to some people. And so I have learned that I have to work hard to maintain my body, maintain my health, and that's like, I put it as a priority. But still in the back of my mind, I don't know if I'm ever going to be satisfied or like, oh, I love my body. Like, I know we have to have body positivity, self-image, all that. I get that. However, when it's deep-rooted and deep-seated from a very young age, it's something that's very hard to shake. And therefore, I force myself. The reason why I like to share and post pictures of like my outfits or my progress with my training is because it pushes me outside of my comfort zone. It takes me outside of my little box of comfort, my little bubble or something, if you will, and it pushes me to do things that I wouldn't normally do, which are uncomfortable. And I think that's good for me. I think it makes me a well-rounded person. And also the outfits, like, why do I share outfits of the day or whatever when I share things on Instagram? If you don't follow me on Instagram, I do share like different outfits of the day and things like that. I like to share those, one, because when I remember, there's a lot of times I have a lot of clothes. It's kind of like with our dolls. I forget I have things. So when I'm able to put together a cute outfit or whatever and I really feel good in it, I like to have a picture of it, and it's a good way to kind of remember like some of my outfits over time. I know that sounds crazy, but I have a huge closet, multiple closets full of clothes, you know, and I love fashion, not just for my dolls, but for myself. It's something that I really enjoy. I love pretty things. I love pretty things, whether it's for doll related or for myself. It's just me. I love pretty things. And not to mention, like, I've been, you know, I work really hard on my body. So when I can fit into things that I haven't fit into in a while, it's kind of like, woohoo, you know? And so I try to embrace the change, and I try to embrace sharing that with people. And, you know, for people that don't want to see it, they don't have to see it. And it's definitely, you can, you know, choose not to, you know, watch it, see it, whatever. But it's been good for me. It's been good for my soul, I think. And I know for like my friends, it's been fun for them to kind of, you know, see me on a regular basis, because I'm not really a regular poster on Instagram on my personal account. It's just, I don't post a lot even on my doll account. It's a lot of effort for me. I don't know, but I'm trying to do better. So another tidbit about me, and I will share a little bit of juiciness about like doll related and, you know, the community, because I know a lot of you, know some things about my past in the community. If you followed me long enough, You will know all this already. However, for those that are newer, why don't I share as much? Why don't I engage? Like, because there's a lot of times there's a lot of like arguments going on. My friends have gotten involved in different things, and for the most part, I've learned to stay out of things. And the reason behind it is because I've learned my lesson a long time ago in the doll community. Okay. You can argue with anybody. There are going to be people that we don't get along with. Other collectors we just don't jive with. Or maybe you had a friendship that fell out. Like, that happens to us all. If you're here long enough, it will happen to every one of us unless you don't engage ever. And I used to engage a whole lot more, and I had a lot of friendships. I would say that I had a good number of doll related friendships online through Doll Fan Forum, and then into YouTube, and just getting to know people through videos and stuff like that. And I fell out with somebody, a rather large channel, and I'm still not 100% sure what happened. And sometimes things just happen and people just, choose to, I rubbed someone the wrong way, and I got ridiculed by this channel for years. I'm talking years of me being the target in the live streams that she would put out, in her, when she did I think she did the memberships very early on, and even talked, I've heard from people, I've seen it with my own eyes, and I was literally like the target for this particular channel because she did not like me anymore. She wanted the whole world and the whole doll community to know how much she did not like me. And I could make a video and then she would do a rebuttal video based on what I had made a video on. Like, it was just hardcore, went very hard for me. I never retaliated. I still don't have a need to. I accepted that, it's bygones, we just don't get along. She feels a certain way towards me, and that's okay. And I just stopped having anything to do with that particular person. But what it taught me was I have feelings and my feelings get hurt just like everybody else. Some people think I come across as quite cold and insensitive. I promise you I'm not. People that really know me well will tell you that I'm actually quite a sensitive person. However, I've learned to let a lot roll off my back. And that experience with that particular YouTube channel, someone who used to be my friend, that stung, and I learned a lot about, okay, now I need to be a little more careful about who I befriend in the doll community, because people can flip on you, like literally in a skinny second. People can flip on you, and then suddenly you're like, what is happening? And then you're the subject of attack videos after attack video after attack video. And so I learned through that, after a lot of being uncomfortable, a lot of being attacked, I learned to grow a very thick skin, which is really important for people in this community. I think it's, why I haven't left, because there's times where I felt it'd be easier just to leave and just privately collect. However, I'm not going to do that. It's not the type of person I am. I enjoy being online. I enjoy sharing my dolls and content on my channel. And I know that a lot of you out there that watch me regularly obviously enjoy it because you're still here. I have a really good subscription base. I have earned those subscribers over many years of being here. I've heard that you can buy subscribers. I've heard that. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but that is not how I've gained the subscribers that I have. I have done it because I've been here a really long time. I don't pay attention to that number, but there's a lot of people that do, because now with YouTube, you don't get certain perks until you get a certain number of subscribers, which I did not know, because, I'm old school, guys. I've been here for forever. I feel like I've been here since the beginning of time. And yeah, so I've learned a lot by being on YouTube, in social media. I will tell you that I am very careful, and I am cautious when I move forward with friendships now, and I have been for a really long time. And I've even recently had falling out with different people in my life. And I have learned that, it happens. You know, there are times where friends come in for seasons and leave, and then some stay with you longer, but there's usually a reason why they come and go. And I try to enjoy that experience when I am, you know, good friends with people. And then if something happens and it's, you know, it falls out or we just drift away, then I've accepted that that's just the ebb and flow of some friendships, and that's okay. But I don't generally get very close with most people, especially through YouTube, Instagram. I mean, it's really hard because how much do we really know about people? You know what I mean? Like, we see tidbits of people's lives and sharing of dolls and stuff, and that really doesn't tell you a lot about the person. So it's very hard unless you see someone on a regular basis or talk to them regularly, and even then, you just never know. I mean, it's kind of crazy out there. But I think part of that is because I am an obsessive compulsive person, and I know people throw that term around. However, I am diagnosed as having OCD, which a lot comes along with that. And I will tell you that that has been a difficulty of mine. And as I get older, it gets a little bit worse and worse. It just tends to be the case. I think the pandemic didn't help me much. But having obsessive compulsive disorder makes me collect in a way that that may be different than a lot of people, which is why I have, you know, only a couple of dolls. You know, having too many dolls makes me feel very overwhelmed. So as a collector, I know what makes me comfortable. And with having OCD, there's an element of needing control in your life. And so what you do is you know, I can only speak for myself. I like to control the small little things in my world that make me feel like I am in more control of my life. And the way I collect, how I collect, the lack of overhandling and being super cautious keeps the anxiety at bay, the worries, if you will. And it definitely affects how I collect. It definitely affects the hobby and how I view it. It affects my friendships because I am very careful with who I interact with now. There's just so many people out there now, and it's a scary place that, you know, if you don't know the right people you should be talking to, and doll sales and all of that, like, it just gives me anxiety. So I try to create my own little bubble for this hobby that makes me feel at ease with things, because I can really work myself up into worrying about a lot. And especially with silicone and all that comes with it, like, it can be a lot. It can be overwhelming. It can be scary if damage gets done. So that's kind of the mindset that I always apply when I talk about, like, caring for Monroe, caring for a silicone doll, the things you should be aware of, things you should be careful with, you know, like, err on the side of caution. That's kind of just me as a human. But it doesn't stop me from enjoying the hobby at all. It's just, I know the things that will worry me. And I'm also a germaphobe. So with OCD comes along other things, other disorders or other things that bother you, I guess you could say. There's a laundry list that could be associated with OCD. Having medical anxiety is one big one for me. Being a germaphobe, another thing for me, like having to have cleanliness, order, like, once again, it's like an element of control. And that might help you guys understand me a little bit better. And I don't generally want to push my beliefs onto anybody else. I do try to, when I do informative videos, I try to make sure that I am leading with, this is what I do, and this is what I would recommend, and this is what the artist recommends, and kind of go from there and leave it up to each collector to make their own decision on how they want to collect, how they want to handle their dolls. But for me, it's important, that element of control and knowing things are as good as I can have them, and, you know, for as long as possible. That's what makes me content. That's what makes me feel happy, content, and thriving in the doll community. And, you know, it's lasted for many years now. Like, it's stood the test of time. I haven't laughed yet. But I am definitely trying to, you know, change, because the hobby is changing. The way we share our dolls is changing, and it's always ever evolving. It's just typical of what it is as the community gets bigger and people like to do different things with their dolls. It's totally normal, natural, and I'm trying to ebb and flow with it. However, sometimes it is difficult for me because change is also difficult for me. So I do recognize that in myself. It's just part of me, and to know me is to either love or hate me. And I know that there are some people out there that just don't jive with me, and I am okay with that because I have enough other people in my world that I do jive with and I enjoy, and we enjoy, you know, our groups of people that we like to spend time with. But overall, I think that I enjoy very much the amount of quirkiness and characters of the people in our community. I think that's what makes it interesting. I think that, you know, I always say variety is like what makes it fun. And I believe that. I truly believe that. If we all like the same things, if we were all the same as people, what fun would that be? Like, nobody needs that in their life. That'd be boring. But I do enjoy getting to know you guys more. And I've enjoyed, and even though I don't always comment, I have been watching the tags about people getting to know one another and stuff like that. And I really have enjoyed that because I think it is fun to come together, you know, share a little bit who we are. And, you know, our quirkiness is about ourselves. And I'm trying to learn to embrace the quirkiness of me, even though sometimes I am my hardest, most difficult critic. I am very hard on myself. So I always try to lead with kindness. That's why I always try to make my channel inclusive. I think that's really important. I think that's probably one of the biggest things moving forward is that I don't want any single collector out there that wants to view my channel to feel uncomfortable to come visit my channel, watch my videos and comment, even if they don't completely agree with my thoughts. I try to keep it an open forum for people to have discussions as long as they're respectful. I like I said, as long as you're respectful, you can post whatever you want as a comment, even if you differ from my opinion. I think that's a healthy way to discuss things, and it opens up my mind to things I may not have thought about. And I'll tell you what, some of the very best friends that I have made in this community have called me out. They have called me out when I've done wrong. They have told me when I'm being a jackass, because we all have that in us, you know. I mean, it happens from time to time. I try really hard not to be, you know, rude or come off condescending or mean in any way, but there are sometimes I can come across as being a bit just not so nice or judgmental. So I appreciate that my true friends will call me out if I'm just stepping outside of what I should be doing. And I appreciate that because I'm literally, I would prefer someone to be a straight shooter with me than to sugarcoat. Like, I want to know, even when I'm doing wrong, it's how I learn from a mistake I may have made. That's why I'm not afraid to come on and apologize when I have wronged somebody. I feel like it's very important to, when you have wronged somebody, to make it right. And so I try to continue to do that. And my goal is to get along with all channels. Even if someone doesn't like me necessarily, there's nothing big enough that's happened with me in any channel that I'm aware of that would make me not want to get along with them. I think that coexisting and being, you know, cordial, even with people that don't necessarily like you, is really important. It's, you know, it's how we navigate life. And, you know, there's not always going to be everybody in the room that gets along with you. So, you know, I honestly, that is a huge goal of mine in the next, you know, moving forward, is I really want to get along with all channels out there. I don't want to exclude anybody. Even if I disagree with them, I want to get along with them, because that just makes my life more peaceful. And I don't think that there's anything big enough that I should be upset with somebody about. I just like to get along and be peaceful and kumbaya. And I know that's impossible for some people. And I know people think will say I'm crazy for thinking and saying that, because people will be people and you're not going to get along with everybody. I know that. I'm fully aware. But I'm going to try. And hopefully, I'm like almost 20, I'm 24 plus minutes in. So I'm going to wrap this up. I know this isn't doll related necessarily, but it is about me as a person, my channel. I want to make some changes because I want my channel to evolve and grow along with the hobby. And I, of course, want to stay relevant. I want to make sure that I'm in the know of things going on because that's what makes it fun. But I'm going to stay out of people's beef because it's none of my business. And I just think it's important to keep things pleasant, positive, and keep it all moving forward. I think that's what, getting caught up in the drama, getting caught up in some of the back and forths has not been fun for me. And it's led to just people not wanting to associate with me, and I don't want that. I don't want that, even though I have my beliefs. I can take a stance on something, but I don't need to push it on everybody else. I think that it's important that we all share our own beliefs if we want to. I'm just choosing to just not get involved at this point in time. I think that keeping things positive is very important for me to continue to enjoy the hobby. When you have a lot of white noise going on with people that don't get along, or people that are making videos back and forth at each other, like, that is no fun. That is no fun for me. It literally has made me lose my motivation to do anything doll related. It makes me lose interest in the hobby, and I just don't want that because I want to continue to have fun in the hobby. It's what we're here for. It's a hobby, guys. It's a hobby. So I'm going to do everything in my power to continue making it fun for me and fun for others that want to come along and follow me and, join me on this fun hobby ride along, I guess. I don't know. I think if we all try a little harder to just get along, it can be very, very peaceful and fun. And that's what it needs to be for me. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a look into me, and maybe help you understand who I am as a person that, reflects how I collect, the things I talk about on my channel, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the content that I continue to put out. And I'm going to try to do better, try to be more regular. I think now that the weather is changing and it's getting colder, I'm inside more, I have less going on, so that it will make me more motivated to actually make some more doll videos. And that's the goal. That's the goal, guys. And I can't believe I actually decided to do this on a Monday, but I'm going to try to enjoy my day after the week I had last week. If you watched my last video, like, it can only go up. It really could only go up because it was crazy last week. And so I'm just going to embrace that it's a new week. It's a wonderful thing, and we're going to keep it moving, guys. So thank you if you stuck around this long. Thank you. I know it's a long video. I appreciate every single person that sticks around and watches and gives me a view. So thank you. So I hope you guys enjoy your week. I hope you have a fantastic week, and we will see you soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.